Hey YouTube, so last year I did a video on our leisure travel van for some upgrades done to it, and I am going to do another video this year for some more upgrades done to it. I might go through everything that happened and say when we did it, but it's just easier to do it that way. So we'll start off here in the front. I've been waiting almost 2 years to find one of these smoke bug deflectors sitting in my Amazon cart. Finally came in stock, so I ordered one of those. No drilling involved whatsoever. Little metal clips that hold it into place. Happy. This cover here was from last year, the windshield cover. One of the things about this windshield cover, other than the fact it fits it great, literally does. But it came straight across like this here. And with these mirrors mounted here, I used a piece of cardboard to trace this out. And I cut around the mirror, and then obviously to the other side, and brought it into my local boat top upholstery place, and they sewed on this edging and put Velcro on it for me. So that was from last year. Right now I have it set up as we were in full camping mode here. Here we got screen on the door here, allows more airflow and keeps the bugs out. Also purchased on Amazon. When you purchase this here, you have to give them the measurements that you need. Across the top, down the sides for the length. It comes with the Velcro and everything on it. I knew where, after the measurements I took, where I wanted this here to sit. So you need to decide on your own exactly where you want it to go. And the magnet in the middle, you can have it off to the side. You can have it in the middle, to the left side, wherever you needed it, want it. I put it on the middle. This here's the outdoor shower, which my hose reaches, and it can go here. And then around the center bar and around the outdoor bar, I can put a shower curtain around there for out in the bush camping. That's where we'll shower. Usually it's just in the lake, but just in case, we don't use the inside shower in this thing here. Outside you got 2 GFI plugs here. This here is the access to behind the fridge, and that's for ventilation. Actually, I took these off and I put screen in it. Keep any bugs from getting in it. So I glued screen on the inside of that. Here is where the batteries used to be. I removed the battery tray, which just gives you a little bit more room because there is a center divider and a big lever. This here is now my tool shed. That's the exhaust there for the furnace. This here is the water heater. Pass-through storage. Does go completely right through to the other side. So just showing some features of the van plus the upgrades. Last year I picked up this 11-pound propane tank holder, attached it to the back of the ladder here. I don't even need to remove it. When we're barbecuing, the hose fits perfect right to here where we keep the barbecue. Now this here is new for this year. So last year we had this rack on the back, this waterproof bag. I had welded some angle iron on here so that we can put a screen tent on it, bungee it down for when we're camping out in the bush. I don't take that with us when we go out in the road, just when we go out in the bush. But I did add the swivel to it last year. So previously, this here was about 9 inches in, and you can barely open the door. You would have to remove the bag off of it to get any access to the back. Inside here, what we have is our barbecue, couple camping chairs, folding table, portable fire pit, the hose for the barbecue, small things like that. I have everything undone right now, but this here is the latch that would latch that into place, and then you got a safety pin that goes into there. So with that unlatched, that swings right out of the way. You can even use this as a table now if you wanted to put something on top of it, right? And then inside the back of the van here, and I'll explain about getting into the storage in a second. I bought these sliders. These ones here, this is 24 inch, these sliders were. So this here will slide right out. It locks into place. And we have a Bouge RV cooler here. We have it set at 2 degrees Celsius. Adult beverages. We have this nice big storage container here in the back. Hiking boots and, you know, raincoats, stuff like that. So this here is just Velcroed down. It'll just come off. This here is just sitting on here. I got wood trim to prevent it from sliding around anywhere. So it'll just come off. And then with this rolled back in, I can still gain access to the basement. Now, in that storage area, the only thing I keep there that I would have to access from here is emergency stuff. So it's not like I'm in and out of there every day. That's where I have the jack, and I have some reflective triangles in there in case you broke down the shoulder, oil for the transmission, oil for the engine, stuff like that. That's the only thing I need to access in there, so I'm not in and out of that all the time. There is a 12 volt, 280 amp hour battery. Don't let the label fool you. Wattcycle knows that they messed up. Thank you to Mr. Will Prowse. He did all the testing on it and contacted them. So anybody who purchased one before that happened, they gave them a refund. I actually have 2 of those. So one is there, and the other one is in that wheel well on the driver's side. This here is an addition to this here. We had one last year, now we have 2, so we are running a total of 580 amp hours of lithium power. Here's where you find your hot water tank and your furnace. These guys here, they lock into place. This isn't moving anymore. Last year I upgraded the panel on it. This is a Power Dynamics 45 amp electrical panel with lithium capabilities for charging. So if you're plugged into shore power, this can charge your batteries. I just have a little power bar here. That's what this one fridge in the back is powered to. Now, these coolers here, they actually have a pump in them the same as your household fridge would. They're very efficient. They only use like 30 to 40 watts when they're running. They're very well insulated, so obviously they're not running all the time. Right. Bottle opener. The other addition to this here is adding a 3rd solar panel. So we now have 3. There's 2 in the back here, 1 way up on the front. Those are 200 watt flexible solar panels. They were from AllPowers. So this is the other side of the pass-through. Actually, this is a little tent for my dog. Keep my water hose here, some extra headlight bulbs, plug-in adapter, and it also has a surge protector in it. That's where your electrical goes and fill your water. Poo-poo dumper. And that's where the valves are and everything to dump. Comes with an on-in 2800 watt generator, which I will run approximately once every couple of weeks. I'll let it run under load, because that maintains them, make sure, you know, the gas in it doesn't gum up and next you know they're useless and require tune-ups and everything like that. Run those. You got one of those, don't think it's a good idea to say, hey, my generator's only got 10 hours on it. No, you're not running it enough. It's going to give the next person problems if you ever sell it. In here, there's a little storage in here too, and there's a whole pipe that goes underneath there. Here's an idea for you all. Fishing rods. That's not where I keep my poo-poo holes. My stinky slinky. No, it doesn't even fit in there anyway with the ends. So that's the outside of the van. So we'll go inside. I have it set up, like I said, right now for camping mode. So table up front, which turns, swivels, slides, makes it easy to get in and out, you know. One person move it around, get in, the other person move it around, get in, sit down, play a game of cards. You could eat there. I mean, we never eat inside here. We always eat outside. The TV is a 120 volt TV, not a 12 volt. You've seen the batteries that are in there. Well, there's also a 3000 watt inverter. It has a built-in transfer switch. If you plug in the shore power, it transfers it over and removes being used from the batteries, right? Cupboards. Got storage here. Good idea to keep all your stuff in a bin. That way there, you're not digging. You can just pull this out. Pantry is well designed. Slides right out. Locks into place. Utensil drawer. All new clips. More storage. Microwave. Microwave's working. You hear the generator's not running, the engine's not running, nothing like that is running, and I kept it here just to show everybody. I mean, there's the plug-in for it here, right? I am not plugged into my house right now. There's the plug-in. This is just off the batteries. Just simply off the batteries. All the cupboard doors. My wife is like, too much weight in here. Can we not do something? Sure. So I removed them all and I stripped the thermofoil off using a heat gun. Came off actually pretty easy. They got primed and they got painted. Color that she picked out. Here you got a closet. Now this here is like a shoe storage thing we bought at Canadian Tire. I had to cut 2 off for it to fit in here. Screwed them inside the door. A lot more extra storage. Hanger. I'm probably going to put a drawer down there also with sliders on it. Bathroom. So same thing. We put one of these on here. This one here did not have to cut. Fit perfect. Just holds a lot more storage. My wife's curling iron and hair blower and whatnot, and keep some extra towels and stuff in it. And there's the toilet. Velcro. I have a piece of Velcro holding this toilet seat up. Otherwise, it's a little bit of a pain in the back. I also have Velcro holding the seat up, the sink up. No more rattling, not falling over. Shower. We don't use the shower in here. I think it's actually kind of silly. I can see how it could come in handy if needed. We'll never shower in here. So the curtain would go around that. There's your exhaust fan. The floor opens up this way towards the front of the vehicle, and there's a shower basin there to stand in. We'll never use it. That's why I was talking about the shower outside. The countertop, the material that was on the countertop, which is also some sort of a linoleum or shrink wrap or something, after 23 years, it wasn't very nice anymore. So I went on the marketplace and I found a kitchen table that was big enough for me to cut this out of. So this here was a maple hardwood table, and I took the old countertop off, which I'll tell you right now, it's put on there very good. There is glue all along the top edging of these cupboards. There's screws underneath there. You actually have to take the cover off of the fridge at the back, and there's screws that go in there also. So yeah, it is attached very well. Silicone all had to be trimmed off with an X-Acto knife first, and I got it off, put it on top of the table, traced it out, and attached it the same way it came off. The glue, the silicone, the screws, everywhere. I don't want anything rattling. Now the extension for it, I made it a little bit longer than the original one. I just have a little bungee right here, so it's not rattling around, like I say. And this here is a full 18 inches, 1.5 feet. So when this chair is actually, because maybe we stop somewhere, we're not turning the chairs around, it fits. We don't have to move the chair or anything. There's about 1 inch in between. So also that was measured right. Storage for underneath, pots and pans. Keurig. I got a little light right here. The fridge was installed just 3 days after I bought this 3 years ago. The fridge died, so installed a new 3-way Dometic fridge. If I would have known I was installing the type of power system that I have now, the solar, the inverter, all that stuff, I never would have bought this. I would have bought a 12-volt fridge that actually has a pump in it, like a household fridge. They only run about 45 watts when running. Of course, they don't want to run all the time. This guy here, when it's on either the AC mode or the DC mode, it's running about 240 watts, and it seems to be on most of the time. So it actually uses a lot of energy, these guys. Of course, you can put it on propane. You're not going to have it on propane driving down the road. It might get blown out. As long as your propane safety features are working properly, it'll shut the propane off. But even still, I mean, yeah, they're not very efficient. So next year I'll be changing that out and I'll be selling that. For the cook stove, I installed, this was last year. So the countertop was all done this year. The painting was all done this year. This I put on the year before. I installed this cutting board on top of the stove, just for more cutting space, right? A little clip holds this up. There's your 2-burner propane stove. Little tiny screws, 4 of those holding it in place, pre-drilled. Make sure they're not too long going through the top. Queen size bed in the back. The original sofa was removed. This is a Freedom 2A. This is made for 2 people. That's what, and I mean, our kids are grown and gone. Just the wife and I need this. So I installed a queen size bed, which is a lot more comfortable than the sofa that was originally in here. We sleep north-south on it, not sideways. Don't have to climb over one another to get out, and my wife, get up and use the bathroom in the middle of the night. Max Air fan, remote holder. Oh, there we go. Thermostatically controlled. Yes, it's warm in here right now. I didn't want to have the fan on so you can hear me. So I have it set at 68. And so it'll turn on and off as needed when you put it in auto mode. If you don't have it in auto mode, it just stays on. You can suck air from outside in or from inside out. We usually have it from the inside out. You open up a couple of the vents, the windows in here, brings a nice cooler air from outside, runs it through the van and out. We had to put a new one in. We did that, well, the first year we owned it, so that's 3 years ago. We ended up losing the remote. And because of the age of it, the remote could not be replaced. And the original one did not have any buttons on it, so it's useless to us. So yeah, we had to put a new one. It was almost $600, that thing. Here we have a Renogy DC to DC controller. So this is an MPPT controller for the solar system, and it's also a DC to DC charger. So it is hooked up directly to the starter battery. So when you're driving, you're getting power from your alternator to charge the coach batteries. It's got its own built-in isolator in it, so it's not drawing power away from your starter battery, but it can also charge your starter battery through the solar system. So that's 50 amps is what that is. There's a Renogy. Right now we are creating 370 watts, 27 amps of power. The inverter is using 203 watts right now. So that fridge, it uses some power. This is the on and off switch for the inverter. You got a clothesline here. You bring this right over to the other side, clip it in there. You can hang some things up, turn your fans on. As I showed you, I'm going to do it again. There's the plug-in for it. I am not plugged into the house at all. This here is a 23-year-old Pelican, yeah, Pelican Duotherm. There we go. We got the air conditioning running in here. I'm gonna run it for about 5 hours with no sun because of the 1100 watts that it uses. Maybe a little bit more, but I mean, let's compensate also for other things that are drawing power, right? Now, if you're also creating power through the solar, that would compensate it and make it even run a little bit longer. It's got a heater on it too. I do hunt, so I use this in the fall. It's nice to turn the heat on in the morning for a little bit. This here is a Sirocco fan. It's like a orbital thing, so you can pretty well put it any direction that you want. It draws very, very little power, super quiet. Built right here in Ontario, Canada. I like that too. Of course, that comes with a price, 180 bucks, but it's designed for RVs and boats and stuff like that. Draws very, very little power, super quiet, aim it whatever direction you want. It folds up out of place. Very, very well designed. When I was putting it on here, I was impressed with how well designed it was. The other switch, you can run it for 3, 6, or 9 hours. So that's an auto shut off, right? Move that up, close that back down, tuck it up out of the way. These lights here are LED lights. So minimum power draw for that, for the lights inside here. Now, not all of them. Unfortunately, these here are still fluorescent tubes. I will be changing them to LEDs also. There's 2 of them in here, and this is the only thing now that's still using an either incandescent or fluorescent. That's it for that. More storage. I keep my clothes in there. This here is some foam that I had left over from when I bought the solar panels, and I stacked it, and I used a hole saw to cut holes. Put some coffee cups, a nice shallot beer glass, a couple whiskey glasses in the back. They're not vibrating and rattling around or getting broke. More storage there. A couple little storage compartments here in the back. This one here is where we keep our games. Surround sound speakers. So you got these 2 little speakers in the back. You got those speakers up on the front. As I said, the TV. The TV is a 120 volt TV, not a 12 volt. It's a smart TV. So what we'll do is we hotspot it to our phone, because I also have an Amazon stick in it. So we'll hotspot it to our phone is what we do, or if we're somewhere with Wi-Fi, we can just connect to their Wi-Fi is what we can do. And it plays through these surround sound speakers. That's pretty nice. Sounds pretty good. You know, it's a crappy night, you just want to maybe watch a movie or something. Well, you can. Connecting it to the cable box means that I'm connecting it to my Amazon Fire Stick. Should be reaching my house right now. Looking for a signal. Oh, might have to go to the home first. Make sure I'm even connected. Do I even need to do this here while I'm showing you guys the rest of the van? I don't know, but let's check it out. Network. About. I am now connected with a fair signal to my Starlink node. All right, I'll try it again. One more time. Let's just see what happens. Well, the TV was connected. I don't know if the Amazon was connected. Yeah, that might be it. Maybe the Fire Stick is a little bit too far away to be connecting to the node. I don't know. Anyway, all right. I was just going to show the sound on it. Nope. World Championship, the F1 boat racing. So then what you gotta do is you turn this switch over here to TV. That's what you do. Turn the volume up.
Get the dignitaries up on stage, and then off we go. So, you know what? I gotta say, well, we've been sitting here. It's now 22 in the afternoon local time. The weather's been fantastic. I mean, there's no humidity. We were here in March last couple of years. It was hot.
I think I might have a real bad connection to check out.
5 degrees north of the
Anyway,
equator.
I'll check that out before we leave.
It's
Power
just
off.
the opposite, which I find.
Oh yeah, I can hear it hum. Yeah, check the connection on the back of the TV here. Might have came loose from our last drive. Anyway, so that is our Leisure Travel Freedom 2A camper van. Now, some of y'all are probably thinking, well, that's pretty low to the ground. Well, I'll tell you right now, it's only because my driveway slopes down that way a little bit, which is why the front end of the van is up on those blocks to level it out. That's the other thing with those fridges, right? Those ammonia evaporator fridges, if they're not level, they don't work. But if you got a regular fridge in here, it doesn't matter if it's level or not. So it's just another reason to go with one of those. So when this thing here is sitting properly, just regular on the ground, and there's air in the airbags, because right now there's none of that neither. That there is about maybe 6 inches higher. So I do still have a lot of clearance. Anyway, hope some of these things maybe help you out with some mods or anything you might want to do with your vehicle. Those 3 clearance lights are LEDs, so are the ones in the back. The other thing that happened this year was a complete tune-up on the engine. So spark plug wires, coil, cap, rotor, CCV valve, PCV valve, engine oil, obviously I do that twice a year. Tranny, I dropped the tranny pan out of it and I changed the transmission filter. I did not do a flush. I always think that's a bad thing to do to older transmissions. You can run into all sorts of problems. So it was about 5.5 quarts of tranny fluid that came out of it by dropping the pan. So a new filter and topped it back up with 5.5 quarts of Lucas tranny fluid. New air filter, obviously. And a complete coolant flush too. So Prestone is what I used for the coolant flush. You remove all the coolant out of it. Add the jug of Prestone cleaner, whatever you want to call it. Top it off with water. Do not just use tap water unless you have a full filtration system in your house. Otherwise, you got to use distilled water. My house has got a full water filtration system in it. There's no chlorine. There's nothing, no whatever. My water is just pure water. So topped it off with that, and I idled it for 6 hours with the heat on. That way, there circulated through the whole system, including the heater core. And then I removed it, and then I did it one more time for 2 more hours. After that, I flushed it twice with water and then filled it up with Prestone 50/50. So the other thing that we had problems with over the years was the crazy vents, as some Dodge owners like to call it, where you got it on, it's hot out. You're driving down the road, you got the AC on, the vents are blowing at you, and then all of a sudden you come to a hill, you step on the gas, and it starts coming out the defrost, and the temperature has changed. Well, it's a real pain in the butt. And your cruise control doesn't work. You have to feather it. It takes like a minute before it actually sets into place. And then, of course, it won't keep up if you get to a hill or any kind of drag, right? So, in behind the passenger side headlight here, when you remove the headlight, there's a vacuum accumulator down here, so it stores vacuum is what it does. And I found it was disconnected. So I reconnected that and everything works fine. So anyway, that is our 2003 Leisure Travel Wide Body Freedom 2A on a 2002 Dodge 2500 platform. We live in Northern Ontario. We've been to the West Coast with it. We were out in Alberta and Northern Alberta with it also. 2 separate trips, 2 separate years, and this year we are going to the East Coast with it, and we're going to do as much shoreline and coastal driving as we possibly can, starting right from Pembroke, Ontario, following the north side of the Ottawa River, and then the north side of the St. Lawrence River to a ferry where it'll bring us across to Arvez-Leu, and follow the south side of the St. Lawrence right up to Gaspé, and then just stay along the Atlantic as much as we can. Cape Breton, Cabot Trail, etc., make our way back home. Looking forward to that. Alrighty. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Maybe there's something on here that might have helped you out with your van.